Welcome to the second of 3 videos showing how to professionally operate a 737 on a flight between LaGuardia Airport, New York City, and Philadelphia International Airport, in Pennsylvania. In this video, we'll use the flight plan we created in the first video and build the route and prepare the flight deck for our flight. This will be a short video and prepare us for the third video when we will fly this leg. The first step is to call for the latest weather report using the FMC. This will tell us the current conditions and what runways are in use. We then review our ATC clearance. This will show us any changes to our route, and a departure may have been assigned. With flight plan, weather and clearance, we now have the information we need to load the FMC. The 737 is capable of importing the flight plan using a data link, but we will build manually for practice. Before building the route, we start by checking the FMC database is current. We can now enter LaGuardia as a reference, then enter it into the departure airport field, and enter KPHL in the arrival airport field, the airport code for Philadelphia International Airport. The weather report shows aircraft are departing on runway 22. If a departure was on the clearance, we would then add that. For now we'll plan direct to Dixie, then Victor 16 to Cedar Lake, Victor 184 to Woodstown, then direct to our destination. Let's enter that now. Entering the arrival and expected landing runway can populate part of the route. We can now perform a route verification, checking the legs against charts and the flight plan, and ensuring there are no discontinuities. We carefully look through what we've entered, the airport codes, the departure runway, and the route that we built. With the navigation display in plan mode, we can use the step function on the control display unit to check each leg. We can then go to the prog page and check the total distance against the flight plan. We were expecting 142 miles. A reasonable difference would be expected due to how the FMC has calculated when we will turn on course, etc. We can now turn our attention to the performance pages. The flight plan shows the planned cost index, which we can enter. The cruising altitude can also be found on the flight plan. We'll use 24K thrust, with flaps set to 1 degree. We can set the V2 speed on the mode control panel. And set the trim to the value shown on the takeoff page, ensuring it falls within the green takeoff range. With new weather we can change the departure runway as shown, and the arrival runway if necessary. It will be necessary to review the route again and update the takeoff V speeds. The expected taxi route would also be reviewed, paying attention for any hotspots or runway crossings. V2 on the MCP may need updated, and the course to reflect the new runway heading. Make sure to review all notes for the new runway. On the overhead we can set the cruising altitude and landing elevation. We can set the altimeter using the latest weather and set an approach frequency in case of return. When we receive the clearance we can check through and make sure our MCP altitude matches what we are cleared for. A normal pre-flight will still need performed, which we will cover in a separate video. What we've shown here is how to use the information from the flight planning stage and transfer that to the aircraft as part of a pre-flight setup. Join us in part 3 when we'll fly this route. Please subscribe to learn of our future videos. Thank you.